All right, everybody, welcome to Sensei Chat. It is June 28th. I have a special guest today. We have Carlos Dominguez from Meta Studio, and he's going to talk to us about what Meta Studio is trying to achieve. Oh, I always do that. I'm sorry. All right, so Carlos is going to talk to us about Meta Studio, what they've built, what they're offering, as well as there's a seed round opportunity. What is going on?
I can hear you well.
Yeah, hold on. I don't know why there's an echo. Hold on. I don't have another. Yeah, hold on. My computer when I have 100 screens open. Okay, let's try that again. All right, we're joined by Carlos Dominguez. He is the CEO of Meta Studio. He's going to talk to us about the project. He's going to talk to us about the seed round opportunity. I do apologize. I accidentally had 3 other windows open of the stream, and they all started playing at once. That's my bad. Also, I have another pitch deck I'm going to go through after we talk to Carlos, as well as some news around the crypto space. A lot of stuff's going to be here in the next hour, so I hope you stick with us. Ask some questions as we go along. Without further ado, Carlos, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? What is Meta Studio? How long have you guys been working on building out Meta Studio? And we'll get into some other questions after we get that. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Carlos. I live in Portugal, where is basically we have Meta Studio registered the company. We've been in the space for 3 years, but before that, before basically joining the gaming world, we actually been in the gaming space for more than like 15 years, like combined like 50. My co-founders, they used to work at places like DreamWorks and Csoft, so a couple of projects like God of War, Guild Wars, like Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon. And then our team is also an award-winning team because of the game Retro Machina that won Game of the Year in Brazil. Before Meta Studio, we actually ran a company for 15 years called TG Master Academy. That literally what all we did was training people to get into the gaming, VFX, and animation industry. So we trained over 30,000 people. And then 3 years ago, we started basically building Meta Studio, which is our Web3 game studio.
Great. And so can you talk to us about, Meta Studio's approach to integrating blockchain technology into gaming and iGaming and how it enhances player experiences?
Yeah. So one thing that we basically realize in space is that while you are able to track basically how people quote unquote like gamble or use tokens in space, it's very hard for you to actually do it in a way that is sustainable, in a way that is actually proven. So with what we are building, we allow any community basically to do that in a way that it's also cheap for them to do. Because one of the problems with building games in general is that it's super expensive, it's time consuming, and a lot of projects they don't really know what it takes actually to build a game. And what we basically offer to them is a solution to be able to do that at a scale without they having to worry about basically building it themselves or having to spend $100,000 or $200,000 to build a simple game using blockchain in general. We actually did that for a client of ours called Metacade. Metacade, they are not a gaming company, but they're like a social platform. But one of the ways they wanted to improve utility to their token was through gamification of the token. And we basically built the Metacade tournaments, and we are just basically now expanding that offer to more communities and more companies that want to use their token in a gamified way.
I got you, man. And so, walk us through how long does it take to build one of these games? I'd imagine, when we talk about like AAA rated games, you're talking about years. It could take like a decade to build a really crazy game. But something that's a little bit easier to build and to play, something that just brings the community together. Is this like a month, 6 month, a year? What do these games averagely take to build?
Yeah, it really depends on the scope of the game, but it can average between 3 to 6 months to build a very solid game. For the games that we are basically spinning out right now, we are focusing more in PvP betting and also in games that they are, for example, either like a leaderboard game or even, for example, hyper casual games that have a competitive side. And with that, basically what allows us to do is to iterate these projects faster. So we can basically get a game out like in 2 to 3 months and having something that has like a game loop that is actually proven and it's fun, and people can basically play like and get like new offers of games every 3 months pretty much.
How many games have you guys built since you started this three years ago?
Yeah, right now, like for this particular project they're building with the hubs, we have 15 games that are ready. The reason for that is it has a different infrastructure in terms of games. If you look at the portfolio of games that we've built, then that is like way more than 15. But for this in particular, we have like 15 games that are ready, and we're actually shipping two new games next month. One, it's like kind of a classic. It's kind of similar to Bomberman, like a PvP Bomberman, and the other one is a leaderboard game.
Got it. We had a question from the audience. Who owns Meta Studio? Is it you and some other founders? Is it another company? Who is actually writing the checks? Who's giving people? Who's paying people?
Yeah, so we have a structure in the company which is Snow Crash. So Snow Crash is our main company, and then under Snow Crash we basically manage different studios. One of those studios is Meta Studio, which is building in Web3. But basically, me, Manny, and Ted, which are the co-founders, we basically manage Snow Crash, and we are the owners of it. And yeah, and we are, like I said in the beginning, like we are a registered company. We have like everything clear, and people can actually search it up on. We have like the company registered here in Portugal, which is a great place to have a tech company if anyone is looking to open one in the future.
And what was funny, and when me and you have had many conversations, and I was talking to you back in 2021, there was a few crypto projects launching, and they were losing their community, and they were trying to figure out ways to bring the community back, and they wanted to build a game, and they built a horrible game that nobody played. Eventually, the project was ruined because they focused so much on this. So it's really nice that you guys basically have this gaming hub that companies can come, Discord communities, companies, whatever it is, can come to you and say, hey, we want our own hub with this many games for our community to play in. And you guys basically have the infrastructure already that you could just give them and say, here, walk us through kind of like, what is the cost, right? If I wanted to have a game or two for my Discord community, how would I go about that? How long would it take to get my own hub? Walk us through some of those key details.
Okay, so I'm gonna be a quick of a nerd for a second here. Like what we are building is actually very interesting in terms of a tech, because we're allowing people to run their communities on a web. And when you have, for example, a game running on a web browser that is a multiplayer game, more specifically, you usually are charged by CCU, which is concurrent players. And CCU can be very expensive. So, for example, because the game runs on a browser, every single time that someone basically reloads that page, it will count as a CCU, which if you have, for example, 15,000 visits, that can cost you $150,000 just to run the game. With the infrastructure that we build, anyone can basically run the hub for like $30 per month, and they can have up to 10,000 people and register up to 100,000 people into the platform. So that's basically been the entire work, is focusing on building that infrastructure. And the way that communities can actually come in is 100% free. They are onboarded for free. We give them the hub, we give them the game. They are able to basically implement their token into the games. They basically have to pay the $30 per month fee. But one thing that we're actually doing to offset that is enable what we call a native ads network, and basically launching advertising inside of the hub. So if that community wants to run advertising, they not only have the hub as a way to add utility to their token, but actually have the hub as an asset for them to make money. And the way that we make money, it's a 50-50 split. So they basically grow their community. They focus on growing their community. They focus on having basically just making the community have fun. And the way that we make money is like the more hubs we have, the more communities we have onboarded, the more people, we make money through advertising, and we also make money through the way that we are setting up our token. But that's basically the whole goal, is to be able to onboard, to mass onboard people at the cheapest price point ever, so we can basically get a massive amount of people up front and use basically our advertising network to do that. One quick thing that we're actually testing right now, and we haven't announced that anywhere else, so that's going to be a new thing that everyone is going to learn in here. We actually tested out something new. That is, we are building our own advertising AI. because what we started looking into when we started building the advertising aspect of the hub, we started looking into ways that we could make advertising a little bit better in terms of how we can drive more engagement. So one of the things that we started building was a offer wall. That in that offer wall, people would be able to come in, like click on a couple of games, like, and as they complete those games, they actually being served the ads, and they get, for example, points for that, or they get tokens. Once that we are like testing is the ability, for example, to have a predictable ad at a point, for example, on when we want to present that ad to that player based on that player behavior. So you can, for example, have it where that's a use case that we wouldn't do, but like in the most extreme way of things, what you can do is look, for example, oh, this player, for example, he has lost like 10 times in a row. So we can basically use that frustration time to then serve like a predictable ad that player and be like, oh, like you can basically boost your defense or boost your attack, for example, if you complete this offer for this particular ad. So these are things that we are testing in the background, and we are building our own tech basically for that predictability inside of each hub.
Somebody was asking about the revenue generating model that you guys are building or currently have. Are you able to, are you currently, bringing communities and games, into, excuse me, are you bringing communities and projects into the ecosystem currently, or are you waiting for the token to launch to really, boost your revenue model and start bringing in partnerships? Or do you already have them, or are you working towards them?
We have one client that is the client that basically used to extensively test the technology and test like where we can basically bring this to the market. We did the same this other project for their like similar. Is that the same project, but it's a similar concept for other projects. So, for example, Marvel Survivors and the garbage beam token, for example, we implemented the same tech for what they wanted to build, and now we're just basically working to this to bring it at scale. Um, and our model in terms of the revenue model is super simple. We build it. We basically take care of doing the game design, making sure the token is sustainable, even though you're doing, for example, play to earn or like play to airdrop or running contests and tournaments. So, for example, like in the case of Metacade, is a tournament. So we take care of making sure that we build that in a way that is sustainable and we have a good design. And then for those companies, they just need to focus on running their company and making sure that they basically present that to their communities for them to play the games. And what we do is we take a 5% fee. Now, that 5% fee is not from the player, it's basically from the hub operator, basically operating the hub. We get that fee, and that fee basically does two things. One, a percentage of that basically goes to us for us to keep building. The other percentage basically goes back into our token that is added back to rewards for our community.
All right, let me do this. Someone's asking about the team. They're asking about the revenue model. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen so it's a little bit easier for people to see right now. So I'm going to share my screen. Should come right up on the screen so you guys don't have to go anywhere or do anything. So here we go. So here is the revenue model that Carlos was just discussing. So you have the free basic free. It says live chat, ad network, standard games, standard hub, your community, 10% fee. You also have white labeling. Carlos, you want to just tell us what exactly does white labeling mean for the project?
Yeah. So right now, like the infrastructure of what the actual product is the background of it. Is like the back end. So the front end, we can present it in whatever way we want. So for example, we can build a crypto sensei like a Japanese dojo, or it's like beautiful and amazing, and you have like koi ponds and so on. Like that part, we can build whatever you want for that community. And for that, we charge that 25K because that basically covers for 3D assets and animations and VFX and so on. But the way that we actually make money is two things. One is from the 5% fee, and the other one is through advertising inside of the hub.
Got it. And so white labeling, under white labeling says everything in basic, custom games, a custom hub, 100% your own branding. And then you can also, once the token is launched, which is called Frostbit, you can actually, everything in basic, entire game library, which means all of your games, early access to updates, special requests, 24/7 support, advertising tools, and then a lower fee, which is a 5% fee instead. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If you think about it, it's kind of like the same model as like a SaaS company, right? Like if you have like a SaaS business, You pay, for example, for a premium package in that size, like where you pay monthly, and then you actually get like priority support and so on. So we're building that. But the way, instead of basically charging like a monthly fee, just using where, like companies, like they stake the token and they get that instead.
Got it. And then somebody was asking about the team. Let me see. I have the pitch deck here, which shows everybody or the higher people that are on the team and the companies that they have worked for. So here's Carlos. You also, I'm really bad with these last names, so I'm not going to say the last names. You want to go through the team? Do that now that it's in front of us, Carlos, please.
Yes, it's Emmanuel Fragilis and Ted Davis. Like both of them, they founded actually CGMA that was sold 2 years ago to a company called Domestika. And Domestika is one of the largest companies in Latin America and Spain, training people like in the same industry, which is like the creative industry. And CGMA, like we operated CGMA for 15 years, trained over 30,000 people to get them into animation and VFX and games as well. If you look at CGMA reputation is super high because like our students absolutely love us. And then you have Valnei, Rodrigo, and Elton, that they are literally an award-winning team because they work on a game called, they actually built the game, and they are like, Elton was the designer of the game, Rodrigo was the main director, on a game called Retro Machina that won Game of the Year in Brazil, and now they are part of our team.
Wow, I definitely have a lot of experience here. Walk us through what is the goal with the actual token, right? So people can use the token to obviously get better benefits. They can stake the token. What other kind of use cases do you see for the token, like the Frostbit token? Like, how do you see it working in the ecosystem, and what future problems or problems are you guys looking to solve with the token?
Yeah, so like the main thing of our token is it's a gas fee token. Like whenever someone is using the hub, that basically has that fee that is the gas fee that the hubs need to pay. It's just like it's an easier way to integrate with community instead of having them like paying us like if instead of being like, oh, like you need to go in and pay us monthly based on what you make, it's just easier to make it basically the token be a gas fee, and that's how it basically makes money. It's like a way easier process to do. For people basically that have the token, we are going to be issuing rewards based on the token performance. The cool part about our token is the more communities that are on board, that's why we want to make it for free, is the more value that token gets as well, because it basically feeds into the other communities and other communities' marketing. Now, one other thing that we want to build and we want to make it possible through the token, and that's something that we actually working on the background already, is enable people to basically to build their own games. So for example, let's say that someone in your community, they want to come in and they want to basically to build games with us. The way that we do that is, one, we're going to first take care of their training. So we basically provide them the training on how they can build games and what they like from start to finish. And then from there, we are going to act as a publisher. What that allows us to do is we can basically focus on building the core component of the business, which is making sure that the hub technology is keeping evolving and making sure that it works well for everyone. But that also allows us to basically expand the library of games without having to be us building the games all the time. And that basically ties into the ecosystem because they'll have to use the Frostbit token for them to be able to launch with us. And two, they also get access to the communities that we already onboarded through the hub, basically giving them free marketing and communities for them to basically to bring into their games. So it creates like a full ecosystem on how the token is used in like not only for us, but for other communities as well. And the cool part about what we're building is that the end user for a community, for example, a community that is that has like, let's say like the Dodge Koi community, they don't really need to hold our token for the token to have a utility, because the token is going to be on the background. As long as their community is using the hub, the token has utility. That's basically how it's built.
Got it. You can see how much passion you have when you talk about this, man. I always get a kick out of it when I have a meeting with you or talk to you, because you just have so much passion. So some great questions coming out of the audience here. So what chain is the token launching on? And are there plans right now or in the future to work with any centralized exchanges? Or obviously, I'd imagine DEXs will come first and then maybe centralized exchanges. Can you talk to us about those two things?
Yeah, we are launching it on Arbitrum. We have like some
Smart.
cool friends on Arbitrum, so we are launching on Arbitrum. And then the other thing is the Arbitrum is super cheap, and for games it's super fast, so it's the best one that we can find. Now the hub itself will work in any EVM. We want to port that to Solana soon, but our focus has been EVMs for now. And we do plan on listing on centralized exchanges, but it will start with a decentralized exchange. We are looking at OKX as the first one, and we also are in talks with Gate to basically to list the token there once we after the DG pretty much. Those are the main two that we are looking and we are talking to.
Great. If there's any questions from the audience, please keep them coming in. Carlos, I know there is like a casino like a route that you guys can possibly go down, or you guys are kind of going down. Can you talk to us a little bit about what those type of connections are? Because we know that people love to gamble, and we know that these games are. I even see them on YouTube, man. And I'm like, someone's winning $1 million. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'll watch this, to see how it is. And I'm always like, man, these games look really fun. So, are you guys getting into that area, or are you already in that area? Talk to us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, it's so funny, like because you actually messaged me on Discord of someone from your community that they identified the exact same problems that we are trying to solve for casinos, which is the casino space
Also,
is
yep.
the casino space. I was like, he sent me his deck and I was looking at it. I was like, that's exactly it. Like I don't know why no one has seen that before. Like one thing that it's interesting about casinos is that when you look at casino space and you look at majority of crypto casinos out there, all of them, they basically go to the same providers. They go, for example, to Pragmatic Play, they go to Big Gaming, and all of what these companies do is they just like create the same game over and over and over again and they just like put like a different art on top of it. Nothing against them, like Big Gaming is a $300 million company, so they know what they're doing, but there is space for innovation in space. And we've actually talked with casinos before. Like we didn't just like land on there and be like, oh, we are going to do games for casinos. We actually talked with casinos before, and there is space that we can basically go in and innovate and still basically tap into that market and build for casinos. And that's basically our goal. One other interesting part with it is that a lot of communities and Web3 communities, the way that the games right now in Web3 work, they're kind of already casino-fied games. So you have like two different fronts that we need to tackle. The first one is for us to be able to provide games for casinos. We also need to have a gambling license. That's something that a lot of people don't know. The majority of casinos there, if you look, for example, at Stake, if you look at Rollbit and so on, they don't create their own games. They just like license those games. And those companies that license those games, they need to have a license to be able to provide those games. So one of the things that we're actually tackling as well is enabling communities to be able to run what we call casino-fied games inside of their community without them having to need a casino license. There is a very interesting loophole in the market. There are social casinos. And with social casinos, you actually can grab your phone, go into the App Store, and you can search, for example, for Playtika. And you'll see like Playtika, they literally launch like casino games inside of the iOS store, but they are completely legal and you don't need a license. So what they're doing is basically merging that inside of our hub in a way that we basically will handle the license. Will be able to run the casino-fied games without basically worrying to have a license. And that allows, for example, communities that are like a little bit more, as the people in the crypto space say, like a little bit more degen. If they want to basically to casino-fy their token, they're going to have that opportunity. And the only reason that we can do that is because we want to actively build games for casino as well, because it is a market that needs innovation, because all of the games just like copy and paste and the same thing. And yeah, we've already talked with 5 different casinos in space, and all of them when we presented them like what we're building, even in terms of having like a more social aspect to casinos, they all are like, yeah, that's what we need. That's something that is very interesting for us to try. Another thing that is actually like the idea for the advertising inside of the hub, it came from a casino. It was like a casino that pitches the idea. It was like, oh, you should also enable advertising on the hub, because that's another way that we can basically make money. through the casino. I was like, interesting. Let's look into that, and we started building that because of that feedback.
Love that. When and we're about to jump into like the tokenomics and the sale and all that stuff. When how far along is the project? When do you think you are going to launch the token TG? When is that? Is that next month? Is that this year? When are you planning to do this?
Yeah, so our TGE is going to be in 2 months. That's basically what we have planned. Right now, we are
Okay.
doing our seed sale, and we have the plan to have the TGE in around 2 months, which coincidentally is the time frame that we have to basically to launch the hub. One cool aspect about what you're building is that we are not just presenting something that is like, oh, we are going to build this like in the future, like
Yeah.
3 years from now, you're going to have that. We actually basically bootstrap the business and been building that on the background, which basically we already have the project to build. We are just like doing the final polishing in order to bring that to market and start onboarding communities at scale. So we are trying to plan to have the TGE during the time when we launch the hub, because that's basically where the token is going to have utility at its peak, pretty much.
Got it. So what you're saying is that most projects launch with promises to eventually build something. They're going to use the money to go out and build something. You guys have taken the opposite view and steps to actually build something and then launch the token, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so we have, can you see my screen when I'm sharing this? I have the Meta Studio white. Perfect. So it looks like TG. So you get 24% at TG. So the TG, if people don't know this, is the token generation event. This is when the token actually launches. Okay. So you're going to have 24% of the supply launched with TGE. The market cap, the opening market cap is going to be 645,000. This is actually good, right? You don't want a market cap that starts extremely high, because if the market cap is, let's say, 10 million or 20 million, just to double your money, you would actually have to double that market cap. So if this project is able to go to like $2 or $3 million in the first few months, you're already going to be up a few 100%. So this is, I like to see a low starting market cap, which is good. You talk right here about the partner hub, but we've already kind of discussed that. And so let's talk a little bit about here. So we have the actual opportunity. So there is, how many tokens is this? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so 30 million tokens in the launch. You're basically paying 1 cent a token. Do I have that right, Carlos?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so 20% is unlocked at the token generation event, and then the vesting. So you have here under the seed round, you have a 2-month cliff. A 2-month cliff, if you're not familiar, means 2 months of nothing happening. So the token launches. This is where you don't get, or nobody gets, an additional tokens. The reason for this in projects, this is actually good to have this space, is because usually when VCs or early investors get tokens, sometimes they want to take profits. They want to sell. And that first few months is very important for a project when it launches to have some really good chart growth. Because if a project launches and it just goes straight down because people are just selling, that's not going to be healthy for everybody else. So I'd like to see a 2-month clip here. The private round is actually a 4-month clip, so that's even longer. Looks like the vesting here is 6 months. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about why you guys decided to have such short vesting terms and the benefits maybe to people that are getting into this, Carlos?
Yeah, like the seed round like is our earliest round, right? And it is the one that has like more benefits, because you have like a higher discount. We are planning to have the TGE at 2 cents actually, so it's 50% discount pretty much. And you have it where we wanted to make sure that people that work with us in the beginning and that basically trust us, they get a good deal for basically being with us and supporting us in the beginning. Like right now, we are ramping up our marketing quite a lot. We have I was talking with you before the call. We actually onboarded like a couple of like KOLs basically to start pushing the marketing. We hired like a marketing agency to start basically working towards our marketing for this, and we also have been talking already with private investors that are more like inside of VCs and so on. So we are ramping up our marketing fairly fast now. And for people that basically work with us in seed and support us during the seed, we wanted to make sure that for them, it's beneficial for them basically to trust in us and support us in the beginning.
You know what's actually interesting, Carlos, and I've seen a lot of newer projects launch, and usually what they do is they launch or they gather a bunch of money in like early rounds, and then they use that to market. It seems like you
Mm-hmm.
guys are using your own money or money the company already has to market and bring on these KOLs and bring on this this agency to help you market, which is it means that you guys are fully behind what you're building
Yeah.
and you're saying here. It's not like you guys are using other people's money to do this. You're actually using your own, so it's you actually believe in your product and what you built and everything that you're doing. So I definitely can see that, and I hope people are paying attention to that too.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
another
please.
thing also to note there is that we've been operating the company for 3 years. Before that, we actually bootstrapped the company, so we put our own money into the company, and like both like myself and the co-founders, they haven't taken a time from what we're building, and we have the opportunity to already take the money out, but we'd rather just reinvest in the business. That's how much we basically believe in it, and we've basically been operating the company in just doing B2B, which is like building games for other companies and then getting people basically hiring us to build their games. And we basically that's the money that we then allocated into the marketing and keeping building the project and so on. With the token sale, the reason that we are doing fundraising is because we are now in a position that we believe that we can go faster and we can grow way faster than before. So we want to basically expand the team and also focus on having a more aggressive marketing as well on what we're building.
I love that. And so, just to kind of round out all the tokenomics here, because I know people are really interested in this. So, you have the seed round,
Mm-hmm.
you have the private round, public round, you have community rewards, which is important, right? Is this like staking? Are you guys going to have some ability to
Yep.
stake the token over a long period of time and get rewards? Okay, and then you're
Yeah.
going to have airdrops. So, can you talk to us a little bit about how people will be able to qualify for these airdrops and how when will these start happening?
Actually, like by participating in the seed, we have a 1% of the airdrops that you're going to be given. Those airdrops they are going to have a vesting period as well. Actually, the 60-month period that is there is for the entire airdrops, not for the 1%. But
Got it.
we are going to have the same vesting amount of time for the airdrop for people that participate in the seed. So everyone who participates in seed, 1% of that we are going to basically to split that into an immediate airdrop and then one after 6 months of the seed round started. So it doesn't just like give a bunch of tokens right away. And then the other airdrops that you have in there are for contest and marketing purpose. Like for example, someone participating in a tournament with us, you basically have those airdrops in there. Our goal and our main focus with that is majority of the tokens that we have in there. If you do like the math and if you add up, majority of it is actually going towards community and community rewards more than anything. One of the interesting things about the way that we are building the token is because we are a game company first. Like what
Mhm.
you're presenting now, it doesn't mean that it's just what is going to be like forever. We have other plans in terms of, for example, running our own version of the hub that is going to be different from the offering that we have at the moment. And for that, we need to basically to have a way to issue those rewards for the community. One of the reasons that we have, for example, that 5% fee is because that's basically going to issue a quote unquote like buyback of the token, adding that to a wallet. That wallet is going to could be completely public. Anyone is going to be able to access that. And we are never going to basically burn that because we don't want to have any sort of market manipulation. And also because we are a registered company, we can't do that legally speaking. So, but everyone is going to have access to that wallet. And whenever it needs to have, for example, more rewards to the community, is going to be from that wallet, for example. So we are basically building a complete ecosystem to make the token work for itself and the token work for the community. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're building, is building for communities and for our community as well.
Got it. And so just to round this out, we have 10% going to dev and ops, 5%
Mhm.
to advisors, 10% to the team and founders, which is good. You want to see this, 5, 10%. This is great. Sometimes projects do like 20, 30%, which is way too much. Ecosystems, 5%, and liquidity is 6%, giving you 1 billion tokens. All right. And so do you want to talk to us about the seed round and the token sale and how people can participate if they choose to?
Yeah, right now our seed round is open at frostbit.metastudio.pt. Anyone can basically go in and participate. One thing that I have to say here on the call, is we do require a KYC process. That's not only for, I know that that is not normal in crypto, but that is not only to protect us, but to protect people invested in the token as well. As I mentioned, we are actually a legal registered company and we need to abide by the laws. And because we have the company here in Portugal, there is a law being passed in Europe called MiCA. And because of that, we are required to KYC anyone participating in the round. But that KYC process is super simple. We use SumSub, that is like the largest one up there. They even, for example, Gate, they use SumSub. At one point, Binance was using SumSub, and they're like an amazing company at what they do. That's just what they do. And yeah, that's the only thing in there. It's like we require people to KYC, not only for us, but to protect the community and people investing as well. And yeah, and the token is open for anyone that wants to participate. I would appreciate it because it basically helps on keep on building and basically bring the project to the eyes of people that want to see the project basically succeed, and to bring it to more communities and make sure that we have a really cool project and a really cool token, and that anyone can get some cool rewards from what we're building as well.
I love that. And then we did have another question from the audience saying, nice to hear about bootstrapping. Excluding the investment rounds, how many months of capital runway do you have? Is this something where you have 12 months, 6 months? Do you have a number on how much runway you guys got right now?
Yeah, right now we have like 2 years of runway in terms of money that is like set aside for emergency. But one thing to keep in mind is that we are a company that is building. So we are an operating company, which means we basically have contracting jobs coming our way, which basically goes back into the company making money. So yeah, in other words, we are a profitable company. That's like
wow.
And that's why we are basically able to launch the project and the token without that much stress, is because like we can basically pay the bills. We have like the team and the company side in terms of building, for example, in B2B, we are good. Which is we actually this year we actually took the decision on slowing down into B2B to focus more on shifting focus in building into the hub. Because we are basically divided. Like our team, we are like an indie team. Like we are small. We are like 10 people working at the company full time, and then we have like a couple of contractors. But one thing is that even in a small team, building games take time, and with that, we basically were divided between building our games and building basically the hub, and then the other side was basically building games for other people. We decided let's focus on building the hub, and then we can, if it's needed, we can go back into the B2B part of it and building for people.
If you build it, they will come. I did put up on the screen how do you exactly get to the docs. I did post the link into the chat, so you should have that on your screen, guys. Also, if you just kind of want to put it in there, this is how you would get to the token sale. It is open to anyone. You do have the KYC process. If you need help with the KYC, please go into the MetaStudio Discord. Open up a ticket or start talking with the team. Make sure. Do you have an ability to open a ticket in the Discord? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do. And anyone that has any sort of problem, they can also add me as a friend, and I'll be more than glad to help.
Do not, if somebody DMs you randomly, do not respond to the DM. Okay. Make sure that you're sending a message directly to Carlos. Or there's somebody on the team, okay? Yep. Please. Carlos, did you have anything else that you wanted to share before we kind of closed out here today? You did a great job kind of going through what the project was, what the offer is, where you guys are heading. Did we miss anything?
Yep, I have like 2 things actually. Like for anyone that missed anything during the AMA, if you go actually to our docs, I actually created a small like video TLDR in there that I just basically walk through the process, who we are and what we're building. And then inside of the token sales page, I also created a small video walking through the process on how that works and even for anyone that is like new into crypto, or if they don't know how to bridge tokens, for example, you can go in and watch that, and it should be super simple. If you're not tired of seeing my face already, you're going to see it 2 more times in there.
All right, guys, I have it on the screen here. Exactly the link I shared on the screen and in the chat. Here's the video Carlos is talking about. Here he is. Basically, how to bridge to Arbitrum, what you need to do step by step, how to do every single thing here, and how to participate. It's all here for you. But listen, if you need some extra help, please, send me a DM if you can't get a hold of Carlos or somebody in their Discord and you need kind of me to help out. Please just send me a DM. I'd be happy to connect you guys. Carlos, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your vision. I really do appreciate it, man. And we look forward to seeing you guys launch and seeing how far you can take this.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I actually have a question for you. Like, you've
Please.
been looking at the project and looking at what you're building. You're like super respected in space. And I actually wanted to hear like if you have any feedback on what you're doing and how we can improve in general.
Actually, I think it's really cool. I've heard of projects doing this before, where they're building gaming hubs and they're promising this and they're promising that. I've never actually been able to get on a gaming hub that you guys actually sent me. I was able to log in very easily. I was able to actually go into games and start playing them. So that was a different experience for me. I'll be honest. I've had people promise me a bunch of things in the past with how good this stuff is, and when I get in there, it's awful. And so you guys actually, have a working product, which was really great to see. And that's the reason I agreed to have you come in and talk with the community and come on YouTube. It was pretty much the only reason, because you guys had an actual working product. And so I think if you guys keep delivering, the crypto market is always about making partnerships and how can you bring more people into the ecosystem? How can you get more people's eyes onto the product? You guys have a working product, so really all you need to do is get more people involved in the ecosystem, in the community, and if you can do that, I think you're going to be very successful. So I think you guys get an A star as far as having technology that works. And, I think you guys are working on bringing in people that are going to get eyes on, right? You guys are obviously spending big money if you brought in, if you're bringing in 5 KOLs from just the European region. I think that's going to be big. And obviously you were telling me some other people that you are working with, and I know, they have big communities too. So I think you guys are going to be successful. Just keep doing what you're doing, keep building, keep delivering on promises, and I think you'll be very successful.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And if anyone in the audience has any questions, they can reach out to me and join our Discord, because our community is super cool. One thing that I have to say is that I wish more founders build with a community, because it just makes the job way easier. Our community is awesome. I have 2 different sides of the coin. I had other projects coming to me and saying that, building a community is a lot of work and you need to spend a lot of time. I love our community. They help us so much, and I believe that you guys, if anything, the most value that you're going to get is going to be participating with our community, meeting the people there.
Well, Carlos, we really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you around the community too, to answer any questions or to give us some updates. And I'm sure we'll talk very soon. We'll have you back on when you guys are closer to launching the actual product. And we wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you very much.
All right. Aloha. Thank you, bro. All right, guys. Now we're going to get into some other crypto news. I'm so happy you're with me, and thank you for sticking through that. Thank you for your great questions. It's always makes my job a lot easier when you guys ask great questions. So thank you so much. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a debate. It was pretty bad. It was awful. I don't know if anybody showed up or paid attention to it, but I would rather have not spent the time. So just really recap, crypto did not come up in the debate. Whatever your politics are, I don't know, but, Biden's poor performance, it felt like Biden was very frail. I don't know if he had a cold or whatever. He had a hard time keeping track of his thoughts. He had a hard time bringing up stuff. Trump is Trump. Trump brought up a bunch of random stuff that could be fact checked. And, I think there was 30 instances where Trump said something that was not true. Biden said some stuff that wasn't accurate or not true. It was a shit show. It was an absolute shit show. And I was very, frustrated that crypto was not brought up. So if you missed the debate, you can go back and watch it. But these are kind of the top headlines. Trump made more than 30 false claims. Biden crashes. Trump lies. Reactions to Biden and Trump's debate performance. Who won? Renowned debate experts and how Biden beat Trump's lies. It was. Anyways, good luck. Please go take a look at that. But it was a shit show. All right, so. Let me just refresh this. Bitcoin is down 5.9%. We've talked about this in last week's chat, or actually in Tuesday's chat. The reason for this is Mt. Gox probably. Mt. Gox is releasing some tokens here in July. If you don't know, Mt. Gox got hacked back in the day. Was that 2011 or was that 2014? I've seen multiple dates. I wasn't around in crypto then, but I do know that Bitcoin was extremely cheap when this hack happened. There is about, I think 180,000 Bitcoin that is going to be kind of given back. We don't really know the firm details of how much the Bitcoin, how much it will be. Oh, excuse me, there's 140,000 Bitcoin that will be released. Defunct Japanese Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox. So this is kind of the reason that I personally believe that the market is kind of really shaky right now. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of guessing what's happening, kind of like a sell the news event here. So I do think once we get into this and people realize the world is not, the sky is not falling, we're going to make it through, we're going to be okay, I think prices will start kind of, turning back around. But I think there's a lot of fear in the market right now. And, rightly so. Ethereum is down 4%. BNB down 3.29%. Solana is up 5%. And we talked about this on Tuesday. Solana has this new feature called Blink or Blinks, where you can actually buy and do some trading on, certain, you can trade a token on like the X platform or Twitter or on a Web 2 platform. It's actually really cool and unique. I think this is how you bridge Web 2 to Web 3. Solana is looking pretty tasty. Solana, people ask me where I think Solana is going to go. We talked about this back in October when we were talking about Solana's bottom here. September, October, this was, $20, $19-20. This had a high of 200 and I just touched 200, right here, 195. So Solana right now is at 140. If you want a safe play, if you're not sure about the crypto market and you don't want to keep watching your bags and Solana is a very safe play that I think will reach $400 or $500. Best case scenario, I think Solana could reach $700 to $800, but that is really kind of cooking. If you can see, we're at $140 right now with a almost $65 billion market cap. I mean, a 10x Solana here would be a $650 billion market cap. I think that's just too much. I think Solana goes between $200 and $400 billion. And so I think that price kind of lines up with what I've been saying. We'll have to see how that plays out. Of course, XRP never does very much. Hard to talk about XRP sometimes. It's kind of sad. I know people tend to look at the price every single day. I stopped this a long time ago. I'm actually a happier person, believe it or not, when I don't stare at the XRP price because it's just depressing sometimes. Ton Network, if you're not familiar, this is Telegram's blockchain, $7.46. Remember we talked about this, maybe DeFi. I just want to show you this for you. So if you're new to the crypto space, I can't spell llama, so it's all good here. We're just going to throw that into Google. It'll give you this. If you're not familiar, DeFi Llama is a great place to actually track where value is moving around the crypto space. And so what you can do here is you can put on the Baton blockchain. You can bring this up, and this is actually going to tell you all of the places, in the Ton ecosystem where to trade tokens, the DEXs. If you remember the conversation we had maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, I pointed out the two best places to trade tokens on Ton were DDust and StoneFi. And, these went up hundreds of % in the last few months. So I know there's a few people in my community that actually made some money here. I'm glad that you listened. But you could use this for any new chain that's being developed. Go in here, look at the DEXs, look at the liquidity staking, look at the derivatives market, look at lending. There's NFTs, SoFi. There's all kinds of different things that you can look at to really start growing your bags. If you just put a little bit of time and energy into research, you can find all kinds of glorious things, right? And I imagine as the Ton ecosystem keeps getting built out, there's going to be new opportunities, and this is really a great place to find them. As you can see, this thing freaking took off. This was March, it just took off. And we actually called this live as it was happening. So really great to see Ton doing well. I think it's going to do, as far as meme coins, like Ethereum, Ton, Base, those are maybe some safer places to trade meme coins. I'll be honest with you, I have lost a shit ton of money trading Solana meme coins. I hate Solana meme coins. I have made a killing on Ethereum meme coins over the last, 45 to 60 days. I think I'm going to stick with what works. Somebody sent a few Solana plays the other day. I was like, oh God, maybe I'll try to buy this. Lost some money. So I just don't have good luck with Solana. I have great luck with Ethereum and some other Ton and some other chains. ADA doesn't do anything for me, but it's up 2.35%. Charles Hodgkinson, he's very vanilla to me. I do think ADA is going to do well just because as the crypto market starts to go up, retail is going to come back. And if people were in ADA before, they'll probably just get right back into ADA. Part of the crypto market is having a current community that is interested in what you're doing and what you're building, the excitement around the technology. And I feel that you're going to have a better opportunity trading newer tokens than trading stuff that is, 1 or 2 bull markets old. We got some great news about Chainlink that I will tell you about in just a little bit here. It's not even up. It's actually down 0.65%. Wondering, how this news will affect it over the next few days or a week. Rounding out here, Near Protocol's down 9.32%. You have Uniswap down 8.63%. So you can still see people are very unsure about the crypto market. I think if the candidates last night were actually talking about crypto, I think we probably would have seen a better reaction in the market currently. Right now, people are just unsure. So, most people are not ready for Bitcoin to break out from this bullish megaphone. The blow off top will be glorious. Bring it to 180,000, 180K. You guys think Bitcoin's going to 180K? Where do you think realistically Bitcoin will top out? Poor old man, let him retire. Man, it was rough. It was really rough to watch that. I don't know. I was kind of cringing when I was watching the debate. And what's crazy? Biden called for the debate, I thought, or was it Trump? I don't know. Anyways, they have a few more debates. I hope crypto will come up. If it doesn't come up, we can all understand that it's just not going to be. I think with politicians, no matter what side of the aisle that they're on, you have to watch what they do and not listen to what they say. They're always going to tell you what you want to hear, but their actions, speak louder than words. So you just got to watch what they actually do. All right, so this is a really fun chart. I mean, this has kind of got the whole rainbow vibe. I saw this, it kind of stood out to me. But this person's saying 150,000 for Bitcoin is a minimum. So you're really seeing this range between 150,000 and 250,000 in this market. I can't imagine what our tokens are going to be worth if Bitcoin even reaches close to these numbers, guys. Could you really imagine? It's going to be truly, truly insane. So this person was pointing out Bitcoin next leg up will be legendary. Right now where Bitcoin is, I think institutions realize that where we're going is going to be pretty insane. Here's another chart showing 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024. Here are the moves that Bitcoin made during those times. And as you can see, we are just getting started here. Once we make this move up, it's going to be truly insane. Bolivia makes Bitcoin trading and payments legal again in an effort to modernize the financial system. Well, that's really cool. I know there's a lot of natural resources in Bolivia. I don't really know too much about it, but I'm glad to see them taking crypto seriously again. There was a giant Bitcoin that said "Study Bitcoin" logo projected on the European Central Bank. I can't imagine that the European Central Bank did this. I would think it was a prank, but it was really cool to kind of see this. I'm not in Europe, so I don't know if this is, I doubt it's still there, but it's always fun to see some certain pranks happening. Ethereum is trying to break out from a massive 2-year downtrend line. The main level to fully confirm a higher time frame reversal would be that of 0.06 horizontal for me. That should be a solid reversal in Bitcoin dominance for now, fighting the resistance. I do think Ethereum is going to pick up here. It's going to be a safer play. I'd imagine that you're going to make more money buying Ethereum today than you would buying Bitcoin today, but you would make probably more money buying Ethereum layer 2s than buying Ethereum at this point. That's just my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong and smoking rocks. I don't know. But I just, from everything that I've seen, all the information that is shared with me, all the tens of hours I've spent a week on Twitter and CoinMarketCap and all this information that I go through, I think layer 2s will probably perform better than Ethereum. We'll see what happens. After the bull market is over, we can look back and say, hey, we were right about this, we were wrong about this, but I do think that'll be pretty zesty. The SEC Gov has formally charged Consensus with violating securities law by operating an underregistered broker-dealer and engaging in the offer of sale of securities through its MetaMask platform. So if you're not familiar, Consensus owns MetaMask. And so it looks like Ethereum got a free pass again, but Consensus is not going to get a free pass, and they are going after them. This was expected following the Wells notice Consensus received in April. My sources have told me that they were expecting these charges to come around the end of the month. So what do you guys think? Is MetaMask going to be dramatically different in the months and years to come due to this litigation? Do you think the SEC is actually going to win this litigation? They've had a pretty rough 2023. They've been getting beat up by Ripple and some other players. I just don't know what's going to happen here, but we will see. It'll be interesting to take a look at. Grayscale crypto snapshot and assets. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, Solana, XRP, Toncoin, Doge, Cardano, Tron, Shiba Inu. What I want you to pay attention to is that Ton is now on this list of Grayscale tokens. This is going to help Ton send to the moon, right? If you're looking at, let me just show you this again. Boop, 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 boop. All right, let me go. Where's Ton at? Ton is now 8th, right? 18 billion. I'd imagine that you're going to see Ton, close to BNB one day. I really do. Everybody and their mother seems to be using Telegram, and as they integrate more features onto the Ton ecosystem, I'd imagine they're going to make it easier for the adoption of cryptocurrency, and I think that's really something important you should be paying attention to. So I got a few other things I want to go over here, my friends. Altcoin season soon. Bitcoin dominance is breaking down from its massive rising wedges. So, a lot of people think that we are going to take off sometime here soon. I mean, somebody's going to be right? Eventually, we are going to take off. We do think that 2025 should be an incredible year for crypto. I'd imagine that the later half of this year is going to be really amazing for crypto. Usually things get exciting September, October, November, December. I'd imagine we are going to do really well on the crypto assets that we actually are holding. Just make sure that you're doing your proper due diligence. Make sure you're checking those tokens frequently. Make sure that you are taking profits if the token is doing some insane numbers. The market goes up and then it adjusts back down. Then it goes up, then it adjusts back down. If you can actually play that, the wave and sell high and buy when it dips, you're going to make more money over the long run. Here we go. 21 Shares files an S1 application for Solana ETF today, following Vinex's first ever Solana ETF filing yesterday. They are coming. We talked about this months ago. I told you that a Solana ETF would come after Ethereum. Looks like I was right. The market was right. This is why Solana is doing better right now. It's up 5% compared to the rest of the market. Please pay attention to this. This is going to send Solana to the moon. Man, imagine if you were in the community listening to buy Solana at $20. You would be cruising right now. And here's just another tweet about the Solana ETF. Kai Ken, we were actually, this is one of the meme tokens that we actually got into this month in Cryptonaires. I actually shared this. Originally, I shared this at 460,000 market cap. This thing went up to 17 million, which is about a 35x. I took profit all the way up I just wanted, I have to be clear on this, guys. I'm always taking, if something's up 4,000%, I am taking profits all the way up. I took profits at about 5 million, 10 million, 12 million, 13 million, 16 million. And I also took some profits all the way down too. I'm still holding realistically about 30% of my total bag. The rest of it, I sold, I took profits, I moved it into some other stuff. So just understand that. Also, another meme coin token that I still think will do well eventually here is Jenner. I called this between 2.1 million, I think was my original post. This went up to 7 million. It went back down to 3 million. Now it's sitting at 4.2 million. There's supposed to be some type of centralized exchange listing, as well as Caitlyn Jenner is supposed to be promoting this token. I still have faith here. I still have my full position. I didn't sell anything yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I still think it's going to do well. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but we'll see. All right. There's a few threads here that I wanted to share with you. This one's about sniping meme tokens. I'm not going to go through the whole thread since I have some other stuff I want to share with you. We've been talking for an hour here. I'm going to be posting these 3 threads in Alpha Sensei right after the chat. This thread is about DexScreen. I think is this about DexScreen launched their pump fund 3 days ago. This is about moonshots. So if you want to learn more about moonshot, just be very careful. This is kind of this new pump fund scam. Basically, what you have here is you have a bunch of new scams launching, and before you need 500 Solana to send the project to Radium and launch that project and burn some of the LP. The issue here is when it gets to like 490 Solana, right before it's supposed to launch, there are the scammers are dumping the tokens and it plummets. I've watched literally 10 to 15 tokens now all follow the same exact things. There are some tokens that are obviously getting through and people are making money on those, but for the mass majority of this, it is and are scams. So just be very careful and keep yourself safe. There's also one about being a meme coin trader or launching your own token, creating your own token. I'm going to post all 3 of these threads in the meme coin channel or Alpha Sensei just to, this is a little bit of fun. There's also this thread on moonshot. I want you to really educate yourself before you step into that arena. I had a great AMA with, not AMA, excuse me. I was invited to a space today with Vitreous DAO. And let me tell you that these guys are doing some amazing stuff. So much that I needed like a whiteboard to keep track of all of this. But these guys are in DPIN, they're in AI, decentralized identity solutions. This token just launched, and it actually launched and it did like what every token does. It launches and then it goes flat. So now that it's gone flat, I do think if you're looking for like the AI narrative, the DPIN narrative, this is something you should probably take a look at. These guys have been having conversations with multi-billion-dollar companies. They talked about it in today's space. Don't take my word for it. They had this space today with Wolf Web 3, and here it is right here. This was a space. Let me see. Was this a space? Yeah, Crypto Sensei. I was there. So, where is it? Anyways, I'm going to give you this thread. It's in this thread. Go listen to this space. It was actually pretty incredible. What's up, Nurse? Good to see you. Man, we have the ladies coming out today. We have Ariana, Girls Crypto Experience, Neurotic Nurse, my favorites in my community. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate your support. We need more women in crypto. You guys are the best. So please go take a look at this project. I think it's something that could lead to some decent money. It is extremely complicated. I will not pretend to tell you that I am a master on this. They have a 169 page manifesto. I kid you not. They have a manifesto that is 169 pages. If you have nothing to do for a few days, this is probably something that you could take a look at. They also have some pretty basic and easy to read and videos that you can watch that really explain. They have a YouTube where they posted videos explaining everything that they do. So I'm going to give you all of this information. I do think that I'm probably going to buy some of this. It is at the bottom, I think.
every crypto project does this, guys. If you're new to crypto, or if you haven't had experiences with many launches, you always try to get it when it first launches and you take that profit right away. Okay. I actually told you about this project a few days before it launched. I had a lot of medical appointments this week. And so I was in and out of the house. I really couldn't pay attention to a lot of what was going on, but you could have made some serious money here. I mean, this launched here at about 13 cents. It went up to 50 cents and it came back down to 11 cents. So this is at a $1.67 million market cap. Total supply looks like 15 million. That seems low. 782 holders. I do think there's money to be made here. So I'm going to give you their YouTube page, or you can actually, you know what? I'll give you their link tree. You can go and take a look at this. I will be giving some updates going forward about this. Please pay attention. I think this could definitely be worth it for you. A few other things, some housekeeping stuff I want to get through here. U.S. consumers have exhausted their savings. $2.3 trillion of accumulated savings have been depleted by Americans since August of 2021. In other words, $67.6 billion of savings have been spent by U.S. consumers per month. As savings have declined, consumer credit card debt has spiked by $290 billion, or 40% in 3 years. In other words, to fight rising prices and elevated interest rates, U.S. households have gone into debt at the fastest pace since 2008 financial crisis, guys. I'd imagine that in 2025, kind of late 2025, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. enters some type of real problem here, right? What do you do if you're the U.S.? Okay, if you print more money and you give people more stimulus, we saw what happened with stimulus before, right? Under the Trump administration, they gave away trillions of dollars. Was it $5 trillion in stimulus? Okay, what did that do to the inflation? That skyrocketed the prices of everything, right? I think that we could replace some of this. If we just need to be very careful. I don't think the Fed really has it. I'll figure it out here. But just please pay attention to this, right? Because if people have this much in debt, they don't have money to put into the crypto market or the stock market. The reason we had such an incredible market before is everybody was at home and everybody had extra money to spend on crypto. We'll have to see how this affects the market. But breaking May PCE inflation, the Fed's preferred inflation measure fell to 2.6%, in line with expectations of 2.6%. Core PCE inflation fell to 2.6%, in line with expectations of 2.6%. Both headline and core PCE inflation declined last month. So inflation has been going down. The U.S. actually has been going down faster in the U.S. than anywhere else. So this was sent to me like an hour and a half before I came on to talk with you guys and interview Carlos from MetaStudio. I am deciding this project reached out to me and they want me to bring them in, or they want me to talk about their seed round. I need to do some due diligence here, but what I like to do here is, a learning experience is a learning experience. And what I like to do in my community with Cryptonaires is I like to post this type of stuff and have you guys take a look at this as well. If we can have 10 people or 100 people all looking at the same thing, there's definitely going to be things here that you see maybe that I don't see. And obviously there's things that I'll see that maybe you don't see yet. And we can really have a good learning experience. But we are going to be talking probably about this over the next coming few weeks. I have to ask some really key questions. They are having a public seed round. I'm not telling you to go buy this. By all means, I'm telling you to research this and see. They do have, let me see, where is it? They do have this deep link private round collaboration forum. I'm not going to share this yet because, I need to do some due diligence here, but they're talking about 10 SEX listings confirmed, including tier 1 listings and 3 DEXs listing confirmed. They have a 3 million marketing campaign, but look at this. The valuation is 200 million. That is a lot, right? Here's another valuation, 400 million. So there's some definitely things that cause me to pause here, but we'll see. This is categories AI, gaming, DPIN, GPU, and real world assets. So look out for some information in the Cryptonaires Discord about this. If you don't know what Cryptonaires is, I just want to share this with you. Cryptonaires is my crypto community. I have a great team. I have a great community that we built out over the past we've been around for 3 years and 3 months. Most crypto companies can't say that. We have 53 reviews, all 5 stars. We have an incredible community built up of people from all around the world. We do participate in a lot of seed rounds and early rounds. But yeah, if you're interested in joining our community and our team, please, by all means, I would love to have you around. Just really quickly, there's, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take some questions. Anybody have projects they want to share, questions they want to talk about? Alpha they want to talk about, please let me know. We'll get into it. I know we've been streaming for about an hour and 10 minutes. Don't want to keep you here all day, but is there anything that you guys have had that you wanted to share or bring up before we ended here today? I might jump in the Discord for a few minutes. We'll see here. Anything else? Ariana, lovely to see you, blah, blah. Let me see if there's anything that I missed as I was just rambling on there about the crypto market. Nope. Going once. Going twice? Sold. All right, guys. I will see you on Tuesday for another chat. I'm going to have a lot of information. I've been actually talking to a few different partnerships behind the scenes. We are closing the bigger round. We will be opening the revived round. If you're interested in Revived, we talked about it, time and time again over the past few weeks. Cryptonaires is the place that you're going to be able to get Revived as the seed round. Let me actually show you Revived really quickly before I let you go here. Let me just show you this. Revived. Let me see. Here you go. So Revived, your world, your rules. Immersive gaming with true ownership. Play or create game experiences with tools built on Unreal Engine 5. No coding needed. All right, check us out. Oh, you probably can't hear it, huh? The video never plays well. I forgot about that. My bad. All right. I'll see you guys. Yeah, I realized that. I got my headphones on. That's why I didn't have any video clips. My bad. I always forget. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Aloha.